Deep in the mountains of Tamil Nadu, there's a place called Kali Hills. Now, its name literally translates to the Mountains of Death. Yeah. Today we're diving into a real account from this very place. A story that's so chilling, it's honestly hard to tell where the haunting stops and the miracle starts. We're going to drop right into the middle of the action here. That's a mother's desperate scream echoing through a pitch-black forest. And it's a scream of pure terror, not because her child is lost, but because of what she sees when she finally finds her. All right, so let's set the scene. The date is July 13th, 2014. A mother, her name is Lakshmi, finally finds her young daughter Damayanti, who had just vanished. But she's not hurt, she's not lost, she's just sitting on the forest floor sobbing her heart out. And she is definitely not alone. What Lakshmi sees is, well, it's horrifying. Standing right over her crying daughter is this ghostly woman in a white sari. And before Lakshmi can even really process what she's looking at, she screams, and the figure just disappears in a puff of smoke. Gone. Lakshmi rushes over to her daughter, but when Damayanti looks up at her, her eyes are this sickening, milky white. She gives her own mother this truly monstrous smile, and then just collapses, totally unconscious. And that moment, that's where this story really kicks off. So to really get what happened here, you first have to understand the place itself. Kali Hills, it's not your average mountain getaway. This place has a profound duality to it, a place of incredible light and equally incredible darkness. You see, on one hand, Kali Hills is deeply sacred land. It's home to a famous Shiva temple, and it's where these enlightened sages called Siddhars are said to live. But on the flip side, it's got this notorious reputation as a hub for black magic, for curses, and for worshiping this malevolent local spirit known as the Kali Pavai. It's a place where you can find both divine blessings and demonic curses, practically side by side. Which, brings us to a really important question. Why on earth was Damayanti in this dangerous place to begin with? Well, it turns out she wasn't just some innocent bystander. She was actually looking for something, driven by a pretty dangerous curiosity. So let's talk about Damayanti. She was an 8th grade student who had already had a really tough life. Her dad had passed away, so she often had to skip school to help her mom with grueling manual labor jobs. But she had this secret obsession, one that was fueled by all the ghost stories her classmates would tell. More than anything in the world, she wanted to see a real ghost. And that wish, that burning curiosity, it's about to lead her to a forbidden part of a pepper plantation where she was working, a place that all the other workers knew you stay away from no matter what. So she wanders off by herself deep into this forbidden zone. And right away, the whole atmosphere just changes. The temperature plummets and this deathly silence falls over everything. And then she sees why. The trees, they're covered in these objects from dark magic rituals. The absolute worst is this one baby doll nailed right through its forehead to a tree, all stained with old, dried blood. And the air itself is thick with this horrifying smell of decay. She's completely frozen in fear. And then she hears it. A soft, female voice calling her name. Damayanti, where are you going? Come here. And as impossible as it sounds, the voice seems to be coming directly from that blood-stained doll. Her mind is just screaming, run, but her body, it won't listen. It's like she's in a trance. An invisible force takes over, and she starts walking, step by step, right towards that horrifying doll on the tree. Just as she's about to reach it, a huge dog appears from absolutely nowhere. It starts barking like crazy, not at her, but at the tree. It grabs the fabric of her dress in its teeth and physically yanks her backward, breaking the spell. She snaps out of it, turns, and runs for her life. And just like that, the dog is gone. But here's the thing, she didn't really escape. Whatever was in that forest, it followed her home. That night, she heard the phantom sound of a single anklet, just circling her little hut. Later, a fresh, wet bloodstain just appeared on a light switch, but by morning, it had vanished. Terrified, she finally told her mom what happened. They went to see a local holy man, and his warning was absolutely chilling. A spirit was now attached to her, and the only reason she was still alive was because a guardian, the Nai Sitar, had saved her. And all of that brings us right back to where we started. Because despite that terrifying warning, circumstances would force Damayanti and her mother to return to the most dangerous place imaginable for them, the deep forest. Her mom got really sick and couldn't work. They were desperate for money, so they had no other choice but to go back into the woods to gather firewood to sell. Her mother begged her not to wander off, but the forest had other ideas. While they were working, this bizarre, totally localized storm just erupted out of a clear blue sky. Thunder, lightning, but no rain. Lakshmi turned away for just a split second, and in that single moment, Damayanti vanished. And that's when Lakshmi found her, just like in the beginning, sobbing in front of that woman in white. So you see, this wasn't some random encounter. The spirit that had attached itself to her back at the doll tree, it had finally made its move, luring her away for one last showdown. Back at their small hut, Damayanti was dying. It looked like the spirit's attack had worked, but the family wasn't totally alone, and they had a protector they didn't even know about. Lakshmi carried her daughter all the way home, but the girl's pulse was just getting weaker and weaker. In total desperation, she ran to find that holy man who had warned them before, but he was gone. It seemed like all human help had failed. Okay, remember the term that holy man used, Nai Siddhar? Let's just break that down really quick. In Tamil, Nai means dog, and Siddhar is an enlightened sage, a powerful being. So a Nai Siddhar is an enlightened being who takes the form of a dog to protect people from dark spiritual forces. So as Lakshmi is just sitting there weeping over her daughter who's slipping away, a huge jet black dog they have never seen before in their lives calmly walks right into their hut. It completely ignores everyone else, goes straight to Damayanti, gently licks her on the forehead just one time, and then vanishes into thin air. Exactly 2 minutes later, Damayanti takes this huge, deep breath, and her eyes flutter open. The fever? Gone. Her pulse? Completely normal. The spirit had been banished. She was completely healed, saved by this mysterious guardian. So, what do we make of all this? What really happened in the Kali Hills? Was this whole thing just a terrifying ordeal dreamed up by a child with an overactive imagination? Or is it proof that in a world with dark spirits, there are also divine guardians out there watching over us, and maybe, just maybe, some of them walk on 4 legs?